Alright, hey everyone, welcome to another Stonehearth Tuesday stream. This is stream 247, and our goal for this stream is to test a bunch of things. Hey Radiant Mally, hey Geester, good to see you both. One of the things that we are doing right now is working on Alpha 20, and Alpha 20 has a bunch of stuff kind of like outstandingly problematic with it. And one of the ways that I thought that, hey Joe Maxio and King Foxtrot, good to see you. One of the ways I thought we could be super helpful today is to see how Alpha 20 actually plays. Stream 247. I don't know, it says 247 for me. Like over here on my Twitch broadcast panel. I don't know why it says 246 for you. Can you guys hear the people out there really loudly, Radiant Mally? I don't think that they can actually move. They're out there playing D&D. So you guys might hear a lot more about turkeys. Yeah, they're playing their like same D&D campaign that was going on last week. They're playing it again, and we'll find out this week what's happened with the turkeys. So how distracting is it? Mally, let me know if you can hear them. Okay, I will just let them know. I'll be right back.
Not at all. I told her she did not know. You can be louder if you like some of them you want to hear with them. Yes, I have in fact told them. So just be aware of it. Thanks.
Well, some of them want to be louder, and some of them want to respect the stream, and I'm good with either, honestly, but they did say that they would be a little bit quieter. Okay, so, let's see. Alright. Who's playing what class? Richard is playing a amazingly hilarious bard with like a really low wisdom. It's like when he's in character, he's a totally different person, which is pretty much how it's supposed to work, right? Let's see. Oops, Stonehearth stream share. Sorry, I put a build on here for myself, and now I forget where it is. Let's see. Sorry, it's probably in here somewhere. Right here. Okay, cool. So let's just grab this game out and stick it in our stream folder, and let's give some of these new Alpha 20 features a whirl, specifically with an eye to making sure that we have a list of maybe things that are working and things that aren't working. I know, for example, that Chris and Yang, before she left, were working on a mechanism under guidance from Richard about Hearthling, like what happens to Hearthlings when they pass out in combat. And I know that there's some edge cases that he was looking into with regards to that and the herbalist, and there's some edge cases that that we're also looking into for that with regards to how people are carried from place to place. So it might be useful. Hey, Mega Shub. Oh, and now like I can tell because of your capitalization exactly how to pronounce your name. So yeah. So let's take a look at some of these guys and keep a list of notes as to what things. There's two things that we're looking for. One, we're looking for bugs, but also we're looking for tuning items. So the two things that we want to look at are a new feature for the Hearthling Death mechanic, which is to actually say a Hearthling Rescue mechanic. And we are also looking for how it feels, how the new happiness features feel. They are not tuned yet, so in particular we're looking for how maybe areas in which it feels like people are being unresponsibly unhappy or being made unhappier way more profoundly than they should be, that sort of thing. So, just to recap, we're looking for bugs, and we're looking for tuning, bugs and edge cases, and we're looking for tuning. And specifically, we're looking for tuning with regards to happiness. The new happiness, it's not really new, it's the revised happiness system, and bugs and edge cases with regards to both happiness and Hearthling, like, we call it the Hearthling death mechanic, but it's really the Hearthling rescue mechanic. Okay. Alright. Hey, Mystic Warhammer. So, right, so yeah, going back to Geester's comment, in the D&D game that's going on outside, Richard is playing the most hilarious Dragonborn bard ever, and last week's campaign saw him speak mime to a mime, and so he and the DM actually had like a full-on conversation, like purely in mime, which is to say that Richard asked questions like, "Why did you fight us?" And he did this by like waving like his hands over his head like this, and then going like, and then like they actually had a full-on conversation. They traded a lot of information without ever speaking one word, and it was the funniest thing ever. Out there, let's see, who else is out there that you know? Brad is out there playing also, and he's basically created Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. He's this like half-elven guy with like, you know, elven nobility, but he really loves hanging out in like the Hobbit town and like, you know, where everything's cozy and warm and fun. And I think the other guys playing out there are actually from the other team, so we've never really talked about them with you guys, but there is a mousefolk assassin who's like trying to repent from his assassin ways. There's a monk who has whose parents were totally adventurers, and now he's come to see that his parents' life of stealing artifacts from tombs was actually larceny, and so he's dedicated to preserving things and putting them in museums. And Richard's wife is also out there playing, and she's playing a druid who like has been turning into all sorts of random cool animals. Alright, so see you later, Joe Maxro. Yeah, Death Rescue always confuses me. It is fantastic, and we wouldn't really expect, you know, anything less of our designer optimizer, right? A hobbit bard that's shorter than the average gnome. That's great. It belongs in a museum is actually in 5th ed the name of that personality trait, like that Charlie's character has, and it's fantastic. Okay, right, notes from 1129. Okay, so let us give Alpha 20 a go. I have a save game from earlier today, and so we can continue on that save game, or we can take a look at new stuff. Other things that have changed in Alpha 20. Sorry. Okay, now you can hear me, right? Okay, so sorry. Apologies. This is a game that I grabbed from our build site, so it did not have any settings or anything in it at the moment. So we're looking at multiple things in this game, and in particular, let's start with the Hearthling rescue mechanic in its current buggy form. It's incredibly buggy. In fact, like, it's so bad. I hope you laugh. I hope it looks so funny that you laugh, but it's in a really bad state right now. Okay, cool. Alright, so this was a thing that we actually logged earlier. This is a bug that happens when you load a game with debug tools in it. And so, alright, so our dudes are going. We need to make some doors and some windows. And maintain one. Cool. But, right, so, and I think let's start this with no herbalist, and then we'll create a universe in which we have an herbalist. Alright, so in order to test the Hearthling having difficulty mechanic, what we actually need to do is trigger some monsters. So let's do that. start raiding parties. You can do it. Okay, so in come the Entlings. Okay, let's put a person in their path, and let's see what happens. Right. Okay, so we're not going to hit town defense mode because we actually want her to lose all of her health, or at least we want someone to lose all of their health. This is, I think, also faintly hilarious. I love how she just went and sat back down. Like, clearly the Entlings are actually not that terrifying. I feel like there's too many people here, so like that makes it kind of difficult for us to really see what's going on. Oops. Let's try this. Still a little bit too much going on here. Maybe we should have spawned something more terrifying. I love how when you teleport them, they just like wander randomly back. That's really good. Where are they going? It might be that they are leaving. In which case... Well, anyway, let's see what we can't do. They might be leaving again. Okay, that's hilarious. That's certainly going to be terrifying. I think they're running around because they probably are like, wow, where are all the people? This is really interesting. Like, this one Entling has managed to find its way to a person, but all the other Entlings are running around for some reason. Probably, maybe because we teleported them, so that might be a potential reason why they did this. Okay. Alright, so if we go super low... Oh, come on, guys. This is not that hard. So really, I think the moral of the story is that when you actually want your Hearthlings to be injured and like attacked by things, it's actually really difficult to get them to catch the attention of anybody. Okay, there, cool. So what happened here is she finally ran out of health, and instead of poofing and just disappearing, she ended up passing out. And the point of this mechanic is to give you an opportunity to save hearthlings that otherwise would have died, and maybe like show some greater attachment and affection between your hearthlings in order to. I'm so sorry, the music is really loud. That's interesting. Which music is really loud? My apologies. I thought that we had turned the music down. So, maybe it's this music? Alright. So maybe it was actually the music from Windows Media Player that was super loud. Now the music is off. Okay, here, I'll put it back on. You know, I think probably what's going on is maybe there's some like music track in here that is like much louder than the others. I wonder too. Maybe if I turn it down there. Okay. How is it now? Like, from Windows Media Player. Good now. Okay. Oh, hey, Mystic Warhammer. I'm glad you came back. Alright, so, right, the idea behind this feature is, or today we are testing, so what I wanted to test is, like, if a Hearthling is, knocked out, like this, like, what happens? And, testing all of the random edge cases that can happen when you've got this situation. But the way that it's supposed to happen successfully, let's make sure that we save, so that we have one down Hearthling. The way it's supposed to happen naturally is that you should have the option to save a Hearthling who is in trouble. Oops, I destroyed them, didn't I? My bad. Okay, so you should have the option to save a Hearthling who's in trouble, put them to bed, and like maybe carry, like, first of all, like, so let's just try it. Like, we have no beds, we have no herbalist, like, here's a Hearthling who's fallen in combat. What are our options and how does this play? Okay, so she is incapacitated. Someone help this poor Hearthling. What if we tried to change her job? Okay, she's not getting up. That's good. What if we tried to... Oh, sorry. What if we told people that she needed to be rescued? So... kind of interestingly, so you can also see that there's like a timer on her health. I have totally seen this work such that you pick the rescue thing and someone runs over and picks her up and brings her back home, but for some reason that doesn't seem to be happening. And furthermore, usually there is a like a little like flag that comes up over their head to sort of indicate that this button worked at all. So I don't know why that one is suddenly not working, but that's good to know. Ah, there we go. It was not working because it was paused. Okay, so we've told the townsfolk that she needs to be rescued, and what that's supposed to do, this is hilarious by the way, they've just picked her up as if she was an object. What that's supposed to mean is that she is supposed to get put near the flag and put in a place where we think is relatively safe. It might also mean, oh, I see, we do have beds. Okay, so it might also mean that she's put in a bed, and this is the part where I hope you guys find it hilarious, because I think that this is really funny. Okay, so, like, in the current mechanic, they've put her down near the bed, and she's just sort of popped into the bed, and you can see that her incapacitated state is slowly getting better. She is now recuperating. Still incapacitated, but slowly recovering over time. An herbalist can help speed up the recovery. And you imagine that when the gray heart gets all the way to the end, then, like she should be better, and will start healing up her normal red hearts. Let's see if that happens as expected. Right, see if she gets up for 10 alert. Yeah, that's a good question. Alright, let's try that. No. Okay. So she's in there. One of the things that we realized that we'd forgotten when we were implementing this was, yeah, one hearthling is floating. One thing that we realized when we were implementing this was that hearthlings totally can starve to death if they're injured too much, and, like, they have not gotten any, like if they're injured too much and there's no herbalist to help them. So let's just speed this up and try to make sure that she will actually, let's see, requires UI refresh. We'll just want to turn on game mode 3 here. So let's make sure that eventually, if time passes, she actually does get up and get back to work successfully. Yeah, see, this is the part where she becomes hungry, and it's like, whoops, like, that's super awkward. We need a craftable IV. We've talked about that. Stonehearth lives in the time before IVs, and we talked about what would happen if, like, oh my god, you're really hungry, like, maybe someone should come with a tray, and, like, give you a tray, and then you can sit in the bed and eat from the tray. But alright, so that's up to the sliver, that's pretty good. So first we're gonna need oil wells, yeah, I like that. Alright, so put her on alert mode, right? Okay, so sorry for my ignorance. What graphic engine? We're using a modified version of an engine called Horde 3D, but we actually modified it so much that I'm not really sure it's fair to call it Horde 3D anymore. It might just be fair to call it Chris 3D, or maybe Tony 3D. But okay, so cool. So that looked like that brought her back to this health state. So now this should be pretty familiar. She is in, like, injured state, moving slower, and is in the bed trying to recover from injury. This actually is part of the new happiness stuff. So you can see that she's pretty happy because she's in a spacious environment, but she's hungry, and the pain from being injured is causing her happiness meter to go down. Her mood is glum. This is part of the stuff that we should also test today, but this is a sneak peek of what we're doing right now. This is all temporary. This art, for example, has been stolen randomly from the internet, and we actually have much more beautiful art coming from Ali to represent your mood state. And we also have some tweaking to do with regards to how all of this stuff actually plays out. We've given it a stab, but actually playing it is, I think, the only way that we will actually be able to work this out. So anyway, so great, we know that she got back into an injured state. Let's make sure that if all the time passes, then eventually she does get back. It would be terrible if she died of hunger while in an injured state, but it is also possible that maybe she'll get better before she actually gets hungry, or maybe even when injured she might come up and be hungry. Okay, so what have we tested? It's kind of interesting too that he's, like, super injured, but I think it's because we don't have an herbalist, so, like, he's not actually, like, in bed to try to, like, rest and fix himself. Oh, great. Okay, again, town alert. This is also the combat mechanic that we've seen, whereby So Zed is severely low on health. Now Zed is on the floor. Okay, cool. Alright. Go out of town alert mode. Let's see. If we are paused, can I confirm? Yeah, so if we're paused, it doesn't actually appear, but it only appears after. Cool. Alright, so now hopefully someone will rescue Zed. Yep. Indeed. Here comes Free. Okay, cool. Zed is losing health fast. I honestly think this is the most hilarious thing. It makes them look like wheelbarrows. Anyway. Okay. So right, I just wanted to know, she is recovering health. Will they eventually get out of the bed? That would be cool. Right, okay. Goblin ransom. Oh, I know. Well, we don't have a footman because we are testing this mechanic. If there was a footman, then probably like they would drive off the hearthlings. They would drive off the monsters, and these guys wouldn't get injured, and then we'd have nothing to test. So, but anyhow, super strong hearthlings. Yeah. All right. Well, her health is taking forever to come back, probably because we don't have an herbalist. Let's see, showing her character. By the way, did you guys notice that we actually moved the flags, the tabs from the bottom to the top? So they're now tabs, they're no longer banners, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it does make them really much more obvious, which is good because, wow, this is going to take a long time, which is really good because it actually turns out that many people, and Nikki learned this while watching people play Stonehearth, we learned that it's actually quite difficult for some people to see the flags when they were at the bottom. Okay, so Abby's mood is now getting up to content, because maybe it's removed some of the terrible pain. She's not quite so injured, but she is famished, and it doesn't look like she's going to get back up from the bed, which is a little bit interesting since other people who are just injured, I think, from the whole herbalist, like I'm resting in a bed thing, do in fact get back up. Okay. Anyway, we will continue running the simulation and then we'll reload. We should keep those animations, they look smooth. It's not really the animations that are the problem, I suppose, but the lack of the animations. Yeah, she shouldn't be content if she's starving. I think the point of this is sort of like, hey, this is my average happiness. Like, and also, ooh, it's been some time since I've eaten. I wonder if something here is... Yeah, so see, like, there's something about the... Something is causing... Right. I wonder why that is, and I wonder if it's a new Chrome thing. Okay, so hey, we were catching bugs. So, let's save this, just in case, hopefully. This will just be a place where we can repro it. So, Hearthling Happiness, tuning happiness system, like bug. The tooltips flicker from over the top to the upper left corner of the screen when the game is running. One of the things that we did this alpha, which I think is getting in the way of the UI, so you might expect to see some sort of like irritating UI bugs, is we updated, so that we use Chromium embedded to remote our UI to and inside the game, and we updated our version of Chromium embedded, and that may be causing like some random UI stuff to happen. And there's like a bunch of stuff like this, right? This flickering, and this is like happening it's a relatively new thing, and it might just be because the newest version of Chromium Embedded that we upgraded to, like, it fixed a bunch of other problems. Oh, cool. Hey, she finally got back up. Oh right, because we told her to be a trapper, so she still remembered that she needed to be a trapper. That's cool. So she's glum. So the other thing that is kind of interesting is that happiness doesn't go up or down immediately when stuff changes. Your happiness target changes, and happiness rises or falls slowly to meet the overall happiness target. And the happiness target is determined by the happiness states that you have, so the thoughts that you have. And so you can see that probably like her happiness target is up here somewhere, and so her happiness is going up slowly. And this is to prevent something like watching someone's happiness like flicker really fast when like a bunch of good things and bad things are happening to them at the same time. Okay, so is Stonehearth free? No, Stonehearth is, I think, $25 on Steam, but thanks for asking. And giving or making a stretcher have a magic stone in all Hearthling hands that can levitate bodies as a replacement. We did think about that amount of magic. I think Mally wants to try making a slightly more realistic looking solution first, and I am all good with that. In part because, like, if you have a magic stone or a magic stretcher, or even if you turn the Hearthling into what Richard suggested, a magic crystal, which you then carry home, like, I mean, we've been keeping the world of Stonehearth low magic on purpose, and, you know, when we added the turnip shooter, right, from the engineer, it was like, oh wow, this is, like, really sort of amazing. It's too amazing for me, like, I want the game to be quieter. Okay, so Hearthling in bed does in fact get better, and get back to their feet. Okay, so now let us load the game back here where she was passed out on the floor, and let's make sure that she actually dies. First of all, I suppose, let's make sure that on saving and loading the game, she's still passed out on the floor at the same level of difficulty that she was in before. Yes, you can also buy the game from Humble Bundle. It's the same price, and it just depends on whether or not you want to auto-update the game yourself, or if you can and cannot work with Steam. Okay, so on load if the game is paused. Okay, well cool. So see, this is why we are helping Chris with his testing, because she is clearly fine now, and you can try to rescue her, but cool. Okay, so bug on saving and loading the game with an incapacitated Hearthling. The Hearthling is now standing up and can still be rescued. Is now standing up. Let's find out if they can still be rescued. This seems very unfortunate. If you try to rescue them, they exhibit some freaky some surprise running behavior. Okay, so that's really good. And what we actually should do is what we should do is upload that game so that Chris can take a look. Oops, Stonehearth saves. There we go. Let's see. It's in this one. Stonehearth saved games, and we're looking for one from earlier today, so let's try 619. Check the screenshot. Nope, not quite further enough along. 624, screenshot. Okay, cool. So let's take this and we'll stick it up here, and we'll call this incapacitated Hearthling save load. Cool. And we'll leave this here. Okay, so, what else should we test to make sure that, this is working right? That's awkward. I'm not sure why she's in the ground like that. It might have been that she was in the air. It might have been that she was in the air, and, oh, of course, if she's up and about, she is capable of participating in town defense mode. And I guess another fair question is, will she eventually die? Like, because, you know, anyway. Let's load that game again. And see if we do nothing, if she eventually dies. Yeah, she's carrying herself to a bed. Alright, good night, Mystic Warhammer. Right, she's totally trying to pick up herself. Okay, so for this, wow, yeah, so that Hearthling just fell down. It's interesting too, because he's hitting her, but she doesn't have hit points anymore. So, alright. So it's unclear to me if she is actually going to continue to lose health. It might be that the incapacitated state, whatever it was that was determining, wow, this is hilarious. It's like, that was determining whether or not she could do anything, is actually preventing her. Oh no, she did lose health. Okay. So, my next question is, eventually, how long is it, like, realistically, how long do you have to rescue an incapacitated Hearthling? She sort of fell down in the middle of the day, so let's see if she gets the whole day. It probably depends on how much— oh, that's so funny, she's eating. Right, so her health is at 0 of 41. She's in severe pain. and she's forlorn. Okay, so maybe this is a suggestion. Indicate time remaining, or I guess you can really kind of get it from the speed at which the heart decrements. It might not be the case that we do this because we're actually moving away from showing numbers in the UI. Like, I think it kind of makes more sense to like do the Zelda thing and just keep going with hearts and visual representations and stuff. Right. So, like, again, like I said, we're just testing to make sure that eventually, like, if nothing is done and she's not rescued, presumably if she were on the ground, she would actually poof and turn back into a tombstone. And the reason that you actually have to tell people that you want your Hearthlings to be rescued is because we can imagine a universe in which your Hearthlings are sort of like stranded in the— like, your Hearthling, one of your Hearthlings falls in the middle of an enemy camp. You don't want people to just, like, randomly go reclaim them the way that they randomly go reclaim, like, swords and stuff. Like, you would want your Hearthling— like, you would want your Hearthlings to, you know, only go rescue them, like, if it didn't severely impact their ability. Patient has no reaction to pain, but feels it severely. More tests are needed. Indeed. Okay, so now she's at 0. I feel like she should probably be dead soon. And it went away. I can't tell if she's moving anymore. I can't tell if any of them are moving. Maybe they all just got better. Like, what happens if I promote her to a trapper? What happens if I promote her to a trapper? Alright, so she might just be dead, like, but for whatever reason. Nope, she's not dead. But I couldn't promote her, which is kind of interesting. She is asleep now. Wow, well, she still has 0 hit points. The invaders are still approaching. But they're indoors, so it's fine. and now she's like invulnerable. So I feel like this is really one of those instances. Like, I remember that my dad was once playing Ultima Online when Ultima Online was new, and he and his friends like sort of like hung out in their super amazing, awesome tower thing, and they just drank poisons until their numbers like went so far into the negatives that they came up positive. I feel like Abby Oppen is now like an undead, like immortal Highlander woman, because like, look, she's not drawing aggro, like she has no hit points, so she can't be killed. Like it's just fantastic. Okay, so if you let her persist, she does, her rescue meter goes down, but she does not actually die. In fact, she starts acting like a normal person who is invulnerable to everything. Sweet! Alright. I don't know, like, it's pretty cool. She's the Highlander. There can be only one. Exactly. Note. Okay, so let's make a bug for this, since this is a really good bug. So that's fantastic. Let's now, like, save load bugs are the best, because, like, you know. Okay, so, let's now try saving and loading a save in which someone is in a bed. Oh man, we don't necessarily have a save like that, do we? In which someone's in it. Well, let's try loading this game and seeing if it loads, because we kind of want to know if they're in a bed, like, and there's this rescue mechanic going on, like, will it load correctly, or do we also get into weird states? Yeah, she's a lick or a revenant, you bet. Thank you. I'm glad that you are enjoying. We were super lucky, and or at least we're very flattered. Whoops. Okay, that's really funny. I don't even know why that's the case, but okay. I'm not sure what the correct behavior here is supposed to be. Like, if they were like, we clearly saw that when they were just in the bed before, like, they stayed in the bed until they were fully healed. So, at the very least, this is irregular behavior. So for this one, it's bug on saving and loading a game with an incapacitated Hearthling in a bed. They pop out on load. They find themselves, they appear on the floor, and then run out and start doing things. Oop. Okay. Alright, so we know that that happened when they got their red hearts. Like, really a fair question to ask is, would that happen if they were actually, like with the gray hearts? So let's try that. I'm glad you like it. Much appreciated. Yeah, maybe it's fear. Let me also note that down. For yourself. And enemies. I love how the Entlings are just like, what? A person? I don't care. Like, come on, guys. Like, you have one job. Like, please do your job. Okay, so, I guess one fair question is, without saving and loading, now what happens if we just don't rescue her? Okay, well, we have more Entlings, so that's kind of fun. Let's just watch them run around a bunch. Then at least maybe something will happen. I do think that that kind of makes sense because maybe there was specifically some code put on them so that if they were in an incapacitated state, like the monsters wouldn't want to attack them. Because you don't want, like, I mean, they're incapacitated, like, how would you ever be able to rescue them if, like, you know, monsters were like, oh, like, I think, you know, I'm going to attack you, so that's all good. The stone golems are vicious. Yes, I agree with that statement. Okay. But what I want to know is, let's say that we just had her fall down like this. What happens when, she hits 0? Like, and how long does it take to hit 0? Like I said, that sort of happens in the middle of the day, like right around here. Like, would I feel like that's long enough? Yeah. So, Michael Handy spitballing. If Hearthling dies way out somewhere, if the headstone's ignored for a bit, a lick is born with summoned undead. An idea for you to use in some campaigns or random mobs. Oh, okay, cool. Let's also note that, bug. Right. Do the zombies keep attacking our Hearthlings in need of recovery? Do they? I don't know. I would be really interested to know that. Have you seen that actually happening? Like, you mean, do other monsters attack Hearthlings in need of recovery? I would bet that no monsters do. Because that would be really shocking. Like, I mean... well, they're chasing the rabbit. Okay, so now she's completely out of health, and on the ground, and hungry. Yeah, this girl is not long for the world either. Like, will she actually die? Okay, cool. So she did success. Like, so when it's not a save load situation, she does in fact die. Okay, neat. Oh, zombies like brains, so why aren't they attacking her? That's good. That would be terrible. I mean, it's so good, it's terrible. Like, it's like, oh, there's some monsters that are really dangerous because they would totally attack you, etc. Okay, great. So now let me load the game again. I'm curious, so we've discovered some save load issues. I'm curious about what happens if there's an herbalist on hand and how that changes the experience. So one of the reasons that we're doing this, and I'm glad you guys are here, is because Chris usually works on infrastructure things like building, and like right now he's working on the Hearthling death mechanic, and he is not as fantastic as some other members of our team are at remembering to dot all his I's and cross all his T's with regards to edge cases. I'm sure now it's just a matter of time, guys. Okay, well, that's also awkward. Here, let's take a picture of this. And stick this into paint. Oops. see. Let's just stick that here. Okay. These are the best bugs. I mean, like, isn't it like a ton of fun to write them? Like, it's like, what, really? This went on? Okay, so now we just want to destroy all of the monsters so that we can get on with the important work of figuring out what happens when there's an herbalist around. This is the glorious work of manual bug testing. Okay. Alright. No, I want you. I always thought promote to... Okay, cool. Now he's an herbalist. And let's give him some healing tonics. Okay. And then let's take her and try to rescue her. Okay, let's see what happens. Alright, so she's being rescued. Indeed. She's being stuck in the bed. She's just in the bed. Oh, let's save here so that we can also test what happens when a person with a gray heart is in a bed. And ta-da! Alright, so the herbalist is using his tonics to heal her, which is good. And the tonics are healing the recuperating heart in addition to the red heart, and we should kill those entlings because it's really bad that they're here. Yes, let's destroy you all. Okay. Interesting. The herbalist seems to be helping her a little bit, but is not continuing to help. I'm gonna stand on my bed, on the bed with you, just to like make it clear that stuff is going on. Okay, what is up? Okay, so, bug herbalist helps incapacitated hearthling in bed, once with healing potion, but ignores thereafter. Okay, let's load this game and see if it happens again. And let's see if she's correctly instantiated in the bed when her heart is gray. Yeah, kill all creatures in X radius. Yeah, like, or maybe just the like select all the things and then poof, everybody. The herbalist does, I believe, play the fiddle animation. Hey, okay, so unlike the... Okay, so in order to... Okay, well anyway, first let's find out what's up with Herbalist. Right, so he helps her immediately. Does he in fact find another potion to help her again? No. Okay. Cool. So what we've learned from this is that there is a saved game with an incapacitated person here. Okay, this save game. This one. And this one is where the herbalist is just like not helping much. Okay. So let's see. Alright, so then we got this one, and the herbalist is not helping after the first thing. And then let's try loading the game again where they were both here and then they got dumped on the floor, because then we can put that save game in the folder also with a note for Chris. Alright, this has been incredibly useful, and when this finally gets out to, I really hope that by the time this gets out to you, it's slightly more polished than this, but yeah, okay, so for some reason for this one, which is hilarious, the herbalist on load, the people are just like, yeah, this one, okay. Gonna copy and paste this one here. People teleported to floor. Okay. And then we put this one here. Wait. So that's actually here. Cool. So we found 3 really good bugs. When I say really good bug, I mean like it causes the game to be much worse, or maybe not work, and we have 3 solid repro conditions, so that means that people like Chris can make it better. So this is a bug, and this is and that's critical. If we ship with this feature, we can't not have this feature. It might be that he actually has not yet he actually may have not yet worked on this part of the feature, but hopefully this will just serve as a good way of reminding him, hey, like, if you are working on this feature, and please don't call it done until after you do this edge case. Oh, the ambulance comes to the field to get the injured player and runs over the whole football team. Wow, that's awesome! Yeah, Mally's gonna work on these animations next, so this whole feature should hopefully be a lot more polished by the time that you see it. Or at the very least, if you see it, if you see it like this, you can just enjoy it for its hilarity and know that Mally will get you better animations by the time that it ships. Hearthlings. Injured hearthlings in bed. Teleported to floor on load. This is just major because it's like kind of embarrassing, but it is not actually like not right. It's not so bad as the other one where the feature is just not working. So let's put this here. Goes again to Chris. Chris is just getting lots of bugs this week. Apologies, Chris. This is what happens when you volunteer to help the entire team help the entire team out by taking on random tasks. So everyone thank Chris when you see him for all the hard work that he's doing on this feature. It's out of his usual wheelhouse of dealing with esoteric, weird problems. I would say that this is actually minor. They may recover on their own. You found the ambulance. Oh no. Oh no. Because wow. Okay. Dude is on the ground. Wow. That's awesome. That is fantastic. Oh my god. I had no idea that, Madden was so thoughtful about how this stuff goes down. Okay. Cool. We actually do already have an issue about the Hearthling hunger. Alright. Great. Cancel this. We actually are currently keeping all of our stuff on a board, which is kind of exciting. This is Jira for those of you who have never used it, and it sort of helps us track the tasks that we have. Mally and Richard both used it in previous companies. Add ladders, interactive toasts to Hearthling heads, animation and audio issues with playback speeds, creatures hiding in grass. Okay, that's kind of interesting. It makes me wonder where those bugs were that we just created. Like... Okay. So... 764, 766. It makes me wonder if they're just super at the bottom. Or if they're just at the bottom of where we put them. Let's see. 764. Great. That's kind of weird. I was dragging things recently. Alright, well, I will figure that out later. But anyway, there's a bunch of bugs on Chris now, which is great fun for him, I'm sure. And I will figure that out later. Cool, but okay, so hey, we have done some really important unit testing, or testing for the game, and found out what is currently still maybe missing for the feature that we should get in before we push it out to you guys. Alright, so thanks guys, thanks for hanging out. It is after 7, so I should be on my way, but you will see Allie tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, and I'm not 100% sure yet about Thursday. We'll see what happens. So if I don't see you Thursday, or if something else happens that prevents me from streaming on Thursday, then I will see you on Tuesday of next week. Alright, it was good hanging out, and I'm always happy to hang out with you.